The clock is not counting down to the end, it is counting up to your awakening. 21 July is not just a date, it's a message, a reflection, a mirror held up to your life, asking, are you truly awake or just moving through the motions? In the Shaolin temple, we are taught that time is not an enemy to fight, but a master to listen to. It does not punish you, it shows you. And when it repeats itself, through patterns, setbacks or warnings, it is not being cruel, it is being patient. This final warning is not about fear, it is about silence. The kind of silence that speaks louder than words. The kind of silence that forces you to confront what you've ignored for too long. In today's video, I will share with you a teaching not often spoken in the West, that urgency is sacred, not frantic, that time, when misunderstood, becomes a trap, but when honored, becomes freedom. You'll learn why Shaolin monks rise before the sun, not because they are rushed, but because they are ready. You'll understand why discipline is not about control, but about liberation, and you'll see how distraction, not time, is what truly steals your life. Stay with me until the end. Because what you will hear may not be loud, but it will be clear. And once you hear it, you cannot unhear it. This is not a prediction, it is a preparation. It is a preparation. Welcome to Shaolin Soul Fire, where ancient wisdom meets the fire of modern awareness. If you feel this message stirring something in you, subscribe. You didn't arrive here by accident. Most people confuse speed with wisdom, but running faster in the wrong direction only takes you further from the path. Urgency is not a fire that burns you, it is a bell that wakes you. A monk does not rush through his training. He moves with full awareness because he understands this moment will not return. In the West, urgency often feels like pressure, deadlines, stress, a race. But in the Shaolin tradition, urgency is something different. It is sacred, it is focused, it is a form of devotion to the present. When we train, we do not waste time. Not because we are afraid of it running out, but because we know its value. Each breath, each step, each repetition is a chance to train not just the body but the mind, and that chance once missed is gone forever. Panic is scattered energy. Urgency is concentrated energy. Panic makes the mind chaotic. Urgency makes it clear. You are not being asked to hurry. You are being asked to return, to bring your awareness fully here, not tomorrow, not next week, but now. The truth is simple. You may never get this moment again. Not this breath, not this choice, not this opening to shift the direction of your life. That is the real warning. So when you feel urgency rise inside you, don't mistake it for fear. Listen, it may be the deepest part of you reminding you that you are alive and that life is not waiting. In stillness, everything is revealed. The body can be trained to move, to strike, to leap, to endure. But the mind resists stillness like fire resists water. To sit without distraction, without movement, without running, this is the true test. In ancient Shaolin practice, training does not begin with combat. It begins with watching the breath, watching the thoughts, watching the self. Because a chaotic mind cannot master anything, not the sword, not the body, not even a single step. In silence, the truth appears, not the truth we tell others, but the truth we hide from ourselves. Fear, attachment, restlessness, all float to the surface when there is nothing left to drown them out. That is why stillness is so difficult, not because it is boring, but because it is honest. Modern life teaches us to keep moving, to stay busy, to scroll, to react, to chase. But the Shaolin path teaches something else, that movement without awareness is just distraction, that silence is not absence, it is presence in its purest form. A monk learns to be still not to escape the world, but to master it, to see clearly before acting, to respond instead of react. Until the storm within is calm, the storm outside will always find a way in. This is why stillness is discipline. Not because it demands effort, but because it demands surrender. To sit, to feel, to stay. And in that quiet something shifts, the noise fades, the mind listens, the soul begins to speak. Time is not slipping through your fingers, your attention is. Each day offers the same 24 hours. But how many of those hours are lived with clarity, with presence, with intention? Most are drained not by great tasks, but by small, invisible habits, checking, clicking, reacting, wondering. This is how life leaks. The modern world is not designed to steal your time. It steals your awareness. It does not take hours at once, it takes seconds. Small fragments of your mind scattered across 1,000 empty moments. And by the time you look back, whole years are gone. Not with a bang, but with a whisper. Shaolin teachings remind us, the greatest discipline is attention, not just during meditation, but in every act. Eating, walking, speaking, resting. When the mind is fully here, even one breath becomes a temple. But when the mind is distracted, even a whole day becomes dust. The thief is not time. The thief is in the habits that go unnoticed, the mind that drifts without direction, the urge to escape the present moment for a promise of stimulation again and again. The path of mastery is not about doing more, it is about leaking less. To seal the leak, awareness must be practiced, not as an idea, but as a way of life. You return to the breath, you return to the step, you return to the now over and over until the present is no longer unfamiliar. And when you stop leaking time, you realize something. You were never short on life. You were just absent from it. The harshest truth is also the most liberating. No one is coming to save you. Not a teacher, not a partner, not a sign from the sky. The path of mastery begins the moment you stop waiting and start walking. In the Shaolin tradition, the first lesson is not how to strike, but how to stand. Not how to conquer the world, but how to face yourself. You are your own master or your own captor. Your thoughts, your patterns, your fears, these can either serve you or enslave you, and the difference lies in awareness, in choice, in the discipline to rise when it's easier to wait, to move forward when it's tempting to hide, to take full ownership of your energy, your time, your presence. There is no shortcut through this, no fast track to inner peace. The ancient way does not offer ease, it offers transformation. But only to those who are willing to stop blaming the world and start mastering the self. When you do not command your mind, it commands you, it feeds you doubt, it repeats old stories, it pulls you back into cycles you said you'd outgrown. Every moment you delay your awakening, your mind grows stronger in its patterns and weaker in its discipline. But the opposite is also true. Each time you take full responsibility, you become lighter, sharper, stronger, not because the world changed, but because you did. The real freedom is not escape, it is self-mastery. So the warning is clear, stop looking outward. The answers will not arrive from the sky. They are buried beneath your excuses, waiting to be uncovered by your courage. You don't build shelter when the rain begins, you build it while the skies are still clear. This is the essence of true preparation. In the Shaolin way, training is not reserved for moments of crisis, it is woven into every ordinary day. The monk does not wait for the enemy to appear to sharpen his blade. He sharpens it daily, silently, when no one is watching. Because he knows by the time the test arrives, it is already too late to prepare. Inner strength is no different. You cannot expect clarity when chaos strikes if you've neglected your practice in times of calm. Peace must be built before it is needed. Discipline must be developed before the mind begins to tremble. Courage must be trained before fear has a chance to rise. The modern world teaches reaction, but the ancient path teaches readiness. It is easy to postpone your inner work until life becomes difficult. But storms do not wait for your permission. Challenges do not ask if you are ready. They come, quietly or suddenly, they come, and only those who have prepared in stillness can stand with strength. This is why the discipline of daily practice matters. Not because the morning was difficult, but because the day might be. Not because you feel weak, but because you choose to grow strong before weakness arrives. You sharpen your awareness not out of fear, but out of wisdom. You meditate not to escape the storm, but to remain unmoved when it arrives. Those who wait to begin until the struggle begins break. Those who train before the test endure. This is the quiet advantage of the prepared. Attention is not just focus, it is the foundation of your life. In the Shaolin tradition, mastery does not begin with strength. It begins with where you place your mind. Every action, every breath, every step, all of it flows from attention. Where the mind goes, the body follows. Where the attention lives, your reality takes shape. What you watch, you absorb. What you repeat, you become. If your attention is scattered, lost in noise, pulled by distraction, fragmented by constant stimulation, then your life will reflect that same disorder. But attention, when cultivated, becomes power. One breath fully felt, one task done with presence, one movement carried out with complete awareness. This is the seed of mastery. The monk sweeping the temple floor with complete presence is building more strength than the warrior who trains with a divided mind. Modern life will steal your attention if you do not guard it. Notifications, opinions, endless choices, each one pulling at your awareness, weakening your energy. This is why the path of discipline matters, not to restrict life, but to reclaim it. The one who can place their full attention in this moment, without drifting, without craving, without resistance, that person holds the rarest power, not external control, but internal clarity. Begin with less, one breath, one movement, one quiet act done completely. That is the first step. Over time, those small moments of full attention become your way of being. And slowly, your scattered energy becomes focused. Your ordinary life becomes sacred, and what was once routine becomes the ritual of a master. Pain is not your enemy, it is your teacher. In the Shaolin path, pain is not feared or rejected. It is studied, welcomed, understood. Because pain carries information, it reveals where there is imbalance, resistance, or illusion. It speaks the truth that comfort hides. Most people spend their lives running from pain, distracting, numbing, denying, but pain does not disappear when ignored. It waits, and when it returns, it does so louder, deeper, more demanding. True discipline is the courage to sit with discomfort, to ask what it is trying to show you. Physical pain may reveal weakness in the body. Emotional pain may point to an attachment, a wound, a lie you've believed. Spiritual pain often whispers that you have drifted from your path. Avoiding pain is not strength, it is delay, and in delay, the lesson becomes heavier. Shaolin monks endure not because they enjoy suffering, but because they trust the message within it. In long meditation, when the legs burn and the mind resists, the pain becomes a mirror. It shows the mind's habits, the body's limits, the soul's longing, and through that, transformation begins. When pain arrives in your life, whether through failure, loss, or challenge, ask gently, what part of me is out of alignment? What truth have I not yet faced? Do not rush to silence the pain. Listen, learn, let it guide you. Pain, when accepted, becomes wisdom. It refines your awareness, it strengthens your resolve, and sometimes it becomes the final warning, not to break you, but to wake you, to pull you back to the path before it's too far gone. The world moves fast, but you don't have to move with it. Trains will keep running, deadlines will keep approaching, the noise outside will never stop completely. But the Shaolin path teaches, the speed of the world is not the speed of your soul. Stillness is not the absence of movement, it is the presence of awareness within it. When the world demands urgency, stillness becomes your anchor. When others react in fear, stillness allows you to respond with wisdom. This is not weakness, this is not delay, it is mastery. A monk walking slowly through the courtyard is not unaware of time. He simply chooses not to be ruled by it. The strength to remain still in a storm is greater than the impulse to outrun it, because true danger often hides in frantic motion, in decisions made without thought, in actions taken without presence. Modern life encourages speed, faster results, quicker answers, endless productivity. But without grounding, speed becomes exhaustion. Without clarity, urgency becomes chaos. To be still is not to fall behind, it is to move from depth, not from panic. Stillness builds precision, it sharpens insight, it allows you to see what others miss, the subtle, the true, the real. So yes, the world will not wait, the day will end, the opportunity may pass. But if your mind is clouded, what are you even rushing toward? Stillness is your strength, not because it slows you down, but because it prepares you to act without being moved by the noise. When the inside is calm, the outside loses its power to shake you. That is the center of the storm, and that is where the master lives. The path does not appear when you are ready. It appears when you begin walking. Waiting is the most seductive trap. Waiting to feel motivated. Waiting for the right moment. Waiting for clarity, support, or certainty. But in the Shaolin tradition, we are taught movement creates momentum. Action reveals direction. The beginning is not found, it is made. You don't train only when you feel strong. You train to become strong. You don't meditate only when the mind is quiet. You meditate to learn how to quiet it. The same is true in life. The feeling you are waiting for will often follow the step you refuse to take. This is the wisdom of right action. You act not because everything is clear, but because clarity comes through action. You begin not because you are confident, but because confidence grows through consistency. There is no perfect day, no flawless plan, no guaranteed outcome. All of that is illusion. What is real is this moment, this breath, this step, and the choice to take it, even if you feel unprepared. The ancient masters did not wait for signs. They looked inward. They moved forward with discipline, not emotion. They knew that hesitation becomes habit, and habit becomes a way of life. Start small. One motion, one breath, one honest commitment. You may feel uncertain, but you are not broken. You may feel fear, but fear is not a reason. It is a signal to stay awake. Begin before you're ready, because waiting will never make you ready, but beginning will. The message was never meant to frighten you. It was meant to return you to yourself. You were not given this day to count down, but to wake up, to step out of delay, to come back to the breath, the body, the present. Because everything you seek, clarity, peace, purpose, begins the moment you begin to pay attention. These teachings are not distant, they are close as your next choice. Stillness when you feel rushed, discipline when you feel distracted, presence when you feel pulled in all directions. That is the path. You do not need to be perfect, you only need to be willing. So as the world moves faster, slow down. As the noise grows louder, listen inward. And as this moment passes, live it fully. Because 21 July is not a warning of doom, it is a reminder of now. Thank you for walking this path with us today. If these words brought stillness to your mind or strength to your spirit, support the journey by liking this video and subscribing to our channel, Shaolin Soulfire. Until next time, move with peace and live awake.